Alright guys, welcome back once again to the 4th European Qualifier for the Tournament of Legends 2. My name is Blue, joined today by Jebro, and we are back heading now into our second qualifying round between Cheese Mode and FoxForceFive. Jebro, what do you think about this matchup?
Oh, I just feel sorry for the blue team. I'm sorry. I really do.
Do you?
We saw Cheese Mode win ESL. I wouldn't say 100% confident, like, you know, they were 100% going to win, but, you know, they've gone for this we don't like, and a couple of them said, we don't like Bunker Guardians, so let's not use a Bunker Guardian, let's just use 2 Ellies instead, so we can cross-cleanse and stuff like that, you know, we can cleanse all the conditions between our team. We have Hibifier who can also pop out that Elixir gun, and he can cleanse conditions, uses healing turret to also do it as well. We've got enough regeneration. Why do we need a Guardian? We don't. We've got 2 warriors that can hold points as well. So, you know, let's just do that. Fine. And it works bloody well. It really does. They don't need a Bunker Guardian because of those reasons. And I think it's going to be tough for FFF to come into this game because, you know, Ishii was doing a really good job. The thief, sorry. What was his name? Shadrenda. His name, Ishii, the thief. On the blue team,
I believe it's Sindenner or something like that, or Sindrenner.
That's it. That will do.
Sindrenner sounds correct.
He can't do his backcats as much, I don't feel, because I don't think that Cheese Mode has to leave their nose.
This is very much an NA comp, to be completely honest. Here on Cheese Mode's side, they are. This is very much a comp that I've seen a lot of North American teams toy around with, just because, again, the reason for this, in my opinion, and again, I might be completely wrong in this, but this is kind of a small issue with the scene as well, is the fact that a lot of teams in NA seem to have issues keeping their roster together for longer than 2 weeks.
Actually, that probably suits them.
Because there's so many flips, and so because of that, teams have a lot of issue getting like synergy, like getting a lot of synergy between each other. So with that said, this kind of comp, in my opinion, does emphasize solo play or just in general self-support a little bit more than it does actual team fight support and stuff like that. Now again, they do run a staff Ellie, I believe, in this, correct?
Yes, that does.
Yeah, they do run one with Staff Ellie here, and keep in mind too that he, generally speaking, with the way that this build works, is very much so a solo player, because of the fact that he can kind of go in far nodes and just be really annoying on that. But he's also can kind of team support there too, so that's where they get that kind of advantage. But the rest of these builds are very much builds that can play solo. Hibify on Control Rifle NG, Zapdos once again on that Staff Ellie, and we already talked about that. Lord Asura over here playing the DD Ellie, I believe, with the DD Celestial Ellie. Azron, I believe, on Spirit Ranger, again, just more support, but he can also 1v1 pretty efficiently too. And then Lady Asura, of course, playing Hambo. No surprises there. They're all builds that can 1v1 extremely well. They're all builds that can very much hold their own scenario. So with that said, that's kind of what this build focuses on. It's a little bit more on that. It allows newer teams to get more of an advantage because of that fact. But I still feel that a much more coordinated group, such as Team Mist or something like that, can kind of abuse this composition and stomp it out fairly easily. But, like I said, that's just my opinion. We will have to see, however, how that actually works out versus a team like that, as we are seeing at the moment here. This is very much so a comp like that. Don't actually know how long the FoxForceFive roster has been together, so they may have issues going up against this comp, but we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, Azron wasn't in the ESL on Thursday. Well, the Ranger wasn't playing anyway, so they did have, it was 2 warriors, 2 Ellies, NG, so, you know, it could be different, but, you know, they've got that res, they've got the support from these, so it's fairly similar, but Azron isn't as tanky as, say, a Soldier's, you know, Soldier's Warrior, but so that could be something which changes, but also it could be potentially better for them, because it might be able to actually get some more damage on the point, maybe, if he's using, I haven't actually checked his build out to see what amulet he's using and whatnot. So
very quickly, we're going to take a very fast look at the builds here, guys. Once again, Hiba playing that Control Rifle NG build here with Rifle and Celestial, Runes of the Holbreck and 60044 being employed. Zapdos on Staff Elementalist with 00266, Celestial Amulet and Runes of the Pirate, of course. Lord Asura is playing pretty much the same build, but with Dagger instead of Staff, and with Strength Runes instead of Pirate Runes. Azron will be playing Spirit Ranger, and again with a Celestial Amulet, and the traits being 04640. Also running Double Spirits, Lightning Reflexes, and Spirit of Nature for his utilities. And then last but not least, Lady Asura on Warrior is playing another Celestial. Is everyone on this team using Celestial? Yes, everyone on this team is using Celestial. I am disappointed. However, Lady Asura once again here playing Celestial Hambo. Moving over to the blue team, Fantastics is playing Bunker Guardian with pretty typical Bunker Guardian build. 0-1, 6-1, this is the Tage build with altruistic healing, so a little bit more selfish, but very survivable nonetheless. Intego will be playing 0-0-2-6-6. Dagger Ellie once again, same exact build as Lord Asura. Sparta Ishii on Warrior, pretty much the same build as Lady Asura, once again there on the tanky Hambo. Kita on full Kandi NG, Pistol Shield with Rabbit Amulet, Runes of Balthazar, and 60062. And then once again, Cinder Ishii playing the Flavor of the Month Sword Dagger Thief build here with 20066. Not as much damage as a normal Thief build, but does have quite a bit of poke and pull and a lot of dodges, which makes it extremely survivable as well. But anyway, we are pretty much ready to go, so let us begin once again with this qualifying round. We'll be starting off on the Temple of the Silent Storm, obviously. Well, that's the wrong arena. Starting off on the Temple of the Silent Storm, heading over to the Forest of Niflhel for Game 2, and of course, if Game 3 is required, heading over to Battle of Kylo.
I love that they are using the all celestial build. It's like ultimate. It's really, 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 really going to the name, you know. Cheese. And celestial, you know, is really. I like celestial in that Hambo build because it gives them some condition damage, you know. And I mean, he's running with Doom, of course, Doom Sigil, and he's going to have a bit of extra burning damage, you know. So it puts the pressure on, and it still gives him a bit, of toughness and everything else. The thing
that you swap out, however, by going with that, is you swap out a lot of damage. Personally, I mean, you'll still be like compared to like if you ran it with a Soldier's Amulet, it's probably pretty similar. But like if you compare it to Zerker, you lose quite a bit of it.
Oh, so yeah, Zerker's.
It really just depends on how you kind of want to spec it. But keeping in mind the red team comp and what I believe they're trying to push for here, that's obviously a pretty smart choice in going for that. Having that Zerker is going to be, while it will add quite a bit of spike to their repertoire, it will unfortunately add a fairly squishy member when you consider how tanky the other ones are. So I don't think they want to be pushing something like that.
It's just not the way their team's working.
Yeah, it's just not the way the comp seems to work.
Yeah. And even that NG build, you know, I mean, it's still quite. He's got a lot of survivability there. I mean, he's doing damage through his grenade kit. He's not doing any damage from his rifle. He's just using that, like you said, to control. And it's a really nice when you can do that and you can combo it up with maybe the Warriors or the Ellies. With that knockback on the rifle 4, you can put them in a lot of AoE and put them in a lot of trouble, and you can really pin them down and you can do a lot of damage, you know, when they're in that situation. Just through sustain, really. I mean, there's a lot of control in the team, to be honest. It's going to be a really good game, and I think, you know, they don't need to do what the teams did in the first time we saw this map. They don't need to send everyone downstairs. They can just send like an Ellie and a Warrior, like 2-man team, or any of them actually down there. One person that's really good on this map, actually, a while ago, is Azeron. He's like a little ninja over on Temple. I mean, if we get the chance to just look at him, he just jumps from side to side. He's like a thief over in that node. So it's actually quite nice to see him playing over there. It's quite cool.
Well, in terms of on-weapon dodges, obviously, once again, the Ranger's probably going to have that there. Probably the second, I think, has the second most on-weapon dodges there, just due to the fact that, again, you've got Serpent Strike, you've got Stalker Strike, you've got, I believe, Hornet Sting has a dodge frame in there as well. And then, and even when he swaps over to Shortbow, which I believe he has Shortbow. Yeah, Shortbow, the third ability on that also has dodge frame. So he's going to be quite a dodgy little fellow there. Not going to be as quick as a Thief, but once again there we'll have access to a lot of that.
He can definitely dodge a lot of the damage that's going to be coming from these guys. I mean, I'm just interested to see how Ishii goes. He's going to go in this game. I think Ishii's going to have a lot of problems if they're not leaving nodes open, you know, and that's going to be a lot of where the points are going to be coming from for blue team, and the catching up especially.
Alright guys, so I think we are pretty much ready to go here. We were waiting on one of our German shoutcasters to get back, but he has since returned. So as soon as our teams are set and ready to begin, we shall get started with this first game here in the set of Cheese Mode versus FoxForceFive. Qualification for the ToL2 Grand Finals is on the line, so we're going to have to wait and see who is moving on and who will get dropped down to our third place game.
Who do you think is going to win?
Personally, I do think that the logical choice here would be Cheese Mode. Much stronger roster. There are definitely some very good players over here on the blue team. Intego specifically, I think, has kind of made some waves recently in EU. But unfortunately, I do believe the very much so all-star roster here on the red side for Cheese Mode will kind of triumph here. And that comp as well, based on what blue team has in their repertoire. So like just in general, I don't think blue team really has enough burst to kill this kind of build. So we're gonna have to wait and see. But personally, I believe that red team will take it.
Yeah, I agree, but I do agree with you again with saying what you just did about Blue, because these guys played some awesome Guild Wars 2 SPVP, and this is going to be a team to watch for, definitely. It's nice to see all these teams coming up, blimey. It's so good, so good. Oh, give us a blinder, give us a blinder.
All right, guys, yes, waiting on Azron now, hold on.
Dave, you slacker.
Azron, there you go. Okay, cool. Finally getting started here, guys. Here we go. It is our first game in a best-of-3 set. First team to 2 points moves on. Loser goes to the third-place game. It is Cheese Mode spawning on the right side of the map on the red team versus FoxForceFive spawning on the left side of the map on the blue team. Gates opening up in 3 seconds. Let's open up our map and check out the splits.
So Hibify looks like he's potentially going to go for their close point at the moment. Red team 3-man cross over to the other side of the map, and we are going to see a Lady Asura
Azron, however,
just going to
Azron camping back here. He is waiting, and this, we're going to see here. Let's actually get our point of view on that blue team diverging onto the red team here at the moment as red team tries to sneak past that. We did see a blink being utilized in order to get onto the point. Unfortunately, however, we did not see them get onto the point quickly enough to stop the full cap, so red team is going to be fighting against a captured point here, and we will be starting off with a 1-1 capture for both sides. Back in mid, however, as we take a look at that really quickly, we do have a stalemated 1v1. Lord Asura on Thief, or Lord Asura on Warrior going up against Fantastics on the Guardian over there. Blue team does have the additional assistance of a Thief. However, Syndrener is instead going to head over towards that far end there. Bill be followed closely behind by Azron with an FGS, but instead gets pulled off there as Zapdos catches onto his tail, and unfortunately that decap attempt will fail. However, at the same time, red team's attempt to pressure into the blue team hub node and take that right off the bat did fail, so they're going to go for a quick transfer and move a fight over here towards middle, but they will be severely weakened at the same time. However, Fantastics also has taken quite a bit of a beating, so he too might be under some pressure with a sudden rush of players that has come over here towards the gate.
Yeah, that's interesting how they weren't able to get over to the node and like just kept off and kept at bay kind of on the way towards us. So, you know, already Blue kind of doing a good job at the moment, and this map might, you know, with the mobility they have over the other team, you know, they might actually favour them in terms of getting to buffs, things like that as well with the Thief. The Thief has tried to go for that decap. Lord Asura has kind of held him at bay, and actually he's just gone down just off node as well with the with the tropical birds taking him down. Awesome, there we go. I haven't seen that for a bit.
You're the real MVP.
This fight is very much, you know, there's quite a lot of heavy involvement, and Intigo is trying to go for the close point of the blue team, but it does look like Kida and also Intigo did. I'm not sure they might actually be able to get on the point to get a potential decap Kida here. We do see an NG 1v1 here, so this might actually be quite interesting to have a look at. But look at the blue team going down on the mid.
Mid is all but falling apart over here for FFF, unfortunately. As you can see here, red team fighting that very long game like we were talking about earlier. That's where they get their advantages. Blue team needs to kill them quickly, but unfortunately, just due to how bulky they are, it's a very hard task to accomplish. So as the fight goes on, even though it was looking like FFF was dealing with it very well, unfortunately, blue team being much squishier, their cooldowns ran out, their ways to mitigate damage unfortunately faltered, and with that said, red team was able to burst them down over time. So with that said, we will be seeing, and actually, we are going to have Fantastics coming. He might try to save Intigo here as well. If he can get Intigo back up, that's instantly going to extend the timer for this fight by so much. But unfortunately, however, that does not appear it is going to be happening. And as you can see, Fantastics came off the corpse there. A little bit too much cleave going on to that, so Fantastics is just going to leave Intigo to bleed out there, and he himself will be tanking on this node.
Yeah, he can hold it for a bit of time at least against these two guys. You know, there's not going to be a lot of burst damage coming out from them. He's so many stuns, and Hibify's coming in to help out to just take him out quickly. But look, the Thief did get that decap, dude.
He does get the decap, however, he's fighting in a disadvantaged fight in what is, in my opinion, over here. Zapdos, keep in mind, he has a lot of things like Lava Font to throw on point. Now, because he's not DD, he can keep pressure on him for a little bit longer, but overall here, the Ellie, I feel, does have a much stronger on-point presence, and if Cinder stays on there for too long, he's going to find himself in the downstate very quickly. You can see these Condis might actually do the trick. 6 stacks, but he just manages to get that heal off there, so he's going to re-engage once more, but we're going to have to wait and see. 1130 buff, however, now coming up onto the field here. We'll check back on that 1v1 in just a moment. Hibify currently going for a free channel, but the blue team engine coming around the corner pulls Hiba. He's down in the hole there now, and that'll be a free channel for the blue team. Hold on, we gotta see anyone else for the red team is on their way. Azron coming in here. Does manage to interrupt there, thankfully, but still Hiba's gonna be forced to head over there towards mid and get back up on top, but thankfully that doesn't matter too much as you've got both Lady Asura and Azron coming in from the side here too.
Yeah, they've really got the advantage at the moment. I think I thought Hibify was going to go for Ferocity then. That was a bit interesting. It looks like he's actually going to leave the only node open. I'm not too sure that's the best move, but maybe just supporting this this stillness from the top with maybe with some grenades. He's kind of not sure if he's dropping down. I can't actually get my eyes on him. I know he's actually down the stairs. Sorry, that was my error. Maybe he just got knocked down. But now we do see the blue team kind of going down on the wayside. Kida's down as well on the stillness. He's going to get that res from Fantastics, and they're going to be okay to continue going for the stillness buff. But they do need to be careful because the cap is still coming out from the red team.
There's also a lot of hazard for them here too to continue fighting. Specifically Kita, as you can see with both Hiba and Azron in play. It's going to be way too many Connies for Kita to deal with. He's just going to melt due to that. And because he moves so far away from Fantastics, unfortunately, there's going to be not much that Fantastics will be able to do. Now all that pressure from the grenades and the spirits will instantly shift right over to the Guardian Fantastics, and he's going to have to be extremely careful with his shouts here, because the second those are gone, once again, he will instantly melt too. Gets those last cleanses off. Unfortunately, does not cleanse the poison, so with that said, the reduced effectiveness will be applied to the shelter here, limiting his lifespan by that much more here. Even popping his ultimate, he's got nothing left here. He will have one more shout to cleanse, but with that said, Fantastics will now fall down unless we see another player coming in for the blue team, and evil knockdown into the hole there just to stop anyone else. Thankfully, however, Cinderer is going to pull off of that far point after an unsuccessful fight there, and we'll be able to continue keeping this thing stalemated for just a little bit of extra time. But they're pressuring this so much here at the moment that unfortunately it has allowed the red team to solidify their hold on both of their other points here. Back over once again at the altar itself. Blue team has started to make some progress, but on the other 2 points, there is no question about it. Red team has full and absolute control.
Really, and they're going to get it over on altar as well, I think, as well, because the only that knockback on the Guardian was just evil. Like you said, it was really evil. And they got the stillness, they got the 2 caps, so essentially they've got a 4 cap at the moment. You know, the points are really rocking in, they're getting the kills, you know, they're holding their points. They've got this nice line of the Elementalist and the Warrior kind of guarding. And then, Zapdos can kind of push in, and he can offer some AoE support. He is getting held up by the blue team Warrior. But you know, blue are being forced into this corner. I think we saw this a couple of times last week as well in the other qualifiers we had, where the blue team do get kind of pigeonholed into this area, and they need to be careful. They need to try and push out, maybe get the thief over towards the temple somehow to stealth out, which I think someone is trying to get out. It is fantastic, actually.
Hold on, back downstairs here. We are going to see Lady Asura going up against the thief. Lady Asura, apologies. The blue team thief should be able to stalemate the bottom buffer as long as needed, but unfortunately, yet another top channel is going to go completely uncontested over here to CM, and with that said, will have a double cap advantage over their opponents here too. We did see the thief decapping mid a few moments ago there on his approach down to the middle, but Hiba, and with no one else on the blue team coming in to reinforce that, is just going to recapture that, no issue whatsoever. Fantastics will come into play. Hiba can actually successfully 1v1 Fantastics eventually though, but at the same time we've got 3 guys from the blue team coming into play here now. We've also got Azron coming in for some additional support, but unfortunately Hiba has taken quite a beating, specifically over here from Ishii. We are going to see Hiba going into the downstate. Zapdos will attempt to make a save here, but not going to happen. Hiba gets knocked out, and with that said, eliminating him from the map for the time being. Bottom is just going to be between these two, and it'll probably stay that way for some time, so we don't really need to spend too much looking at that.
The right people are down there, though. Yep. That's for sure.
You know, I don't have any crucial team fighters down there, really, so you can. There's not too much to worry about down there. They will obviously, again, just kind of as a retrospective in terms of what they are going to be losing with Intego downstairs. They are going to be losing a bit of team fight support, and they will lose a side point skirmisher there too, due to the fact that he's down there fighting. At the same time, you also have the Hambo from the red team going down, which could hurt them a little bit in team fights, but overall, I'm not too worried about their team fight.
He's not offering as much support at all. Yeah, I mean, he's the right person.
Like I said,
because of that cross-cleansing as well.
Most of the members of the red team are very much self-centered and can keep each other alive. So having that additional Hambo support, while it will definitely alleviate some of the pain, it isn't going to be absolutely crucial to it.
Saying that, Lady Asura is getting dangerously low, actually, and Tigo's doing a nice job against him, and able to get the knockdown. Nice little weapons into the earth.
Unfortunately, doesn't have any poison or anything to throw on him here at the moment, so Healing Stick is still going to be doing his job quite well. He too has to be somewhat careful with this engagement due to the fact that right here, as you can see, the hammer combo going to be a bit dangerous for Intego. No, Intego goes down, and now Lady Asura will come in for a stop. He'll start the channel here. No movement from the blue team as of yet in terms of how they're going to try and stop this channel. Good move by Intego there too, moving as far away from the point as he possibly could there, just to increase the time here by milliseconds. Sparta now downstairs here. Sparta Ishii once again moving in with the word, should be able to interrupt this. Hold on, no, gets the block off. Oh, there you go, nicely done. Yeah, a very long channel indeed there. So with that said, they're going to stalemate this for just a little bit longer. Heading back up to the top once again to check that out though. Kita engaged in a 2v1, looking very likely that CM will recapture this node, and as well the temple being held with no issues whatsoever by the red team. Mid as well, maybe looking like that is the case. And with that said, looking at the score here, unfortunately, I don't believe that they are going to be able to make a comeback. There won't be any miracle bottom buff this time. We won't have any $1 million tranquility channel. So with that said.
To do this, to be honest, I've seen it happen. It's possible, but not against Cheese Mode. Sorry.
Well,
blue team, it's not going to happen.
I don't think it's unless there is some mass DC or something, in which case we'd probably reset the game anyway. But even with the mass DC, it's pretty possible at this point. So CM, they're going to take game one. They will be up 1-0, and this will mean that once again FoxForceFive is on the chopping block. They've got one more opportunity to make their comeback over on the Forest of Niflhel, and if they do not do so, we will be seeing Cheese Mode move on uncontestedly into the grand finals of ToL2.
Did you see that? Red team got a capture point.
I'm just thinking about how crazy that comeback was in the last game. I was just thinking what would happen if that happened against Cheese Mode. It would be pretty epic to watch, just as an interesting note. But yeah, I don't think it was ever really on the cards. How do you reckon Blue Team did in there? I mean, I think they did get pigeonholed. Really, you know,
they were doing. It was a similar situation to one of the games we had a few sets ago, where they were doing perfectly fine at the start. There, they definitely had some momentum rolling against it. But like I said, like I talked about with a lot of teams that go against bulky comps, it's just that once that momentum stops, it becomes very hard to get it rolling again. You need to get very lucky. Yep. Someone on the opponent team needs to make a very large mistake, or you need to win a side note fight, which you can eliminate a very crucial member of the enemy's team fight on that side note fight. But unfortunately, again, with everyone being so self-supportive and with everyone being able to survive for so long kind of on their own there, it's a very, very hard thing to accomplish. You need a lot of coordination and quite a bit of actual team synergy in order to pull that off properly, and I'm just not sure that Blue Team was able to bring it that last round there. Like I said, they were doing fine at the start, fended off the initial burst, but because again their Guardian was already under pressure there at mid, he melted fairly quickly back there too. With that long fight, they unfortunately just could not keep things going there, so Red Team took that advantage there, and from then things just started to get ugly.
Yeah, you're completely right. Me and Nick were saying this on Thursday. Your coordination, your DPS, your burst damage needs to be so on point with who you're going to be focusing. If you're not able to do it, they haven't really got that many people that can do it as well on the Blue Team. You know, they've got the Thief, they've got the NG, you can get a lot of conditions on, but with the cross cleansing and the amount of cleansing that the other team has, you know, the conditions aren't going to be doing that much to them. So unfortunately, the engineer, he's going to have such a hard job in this game against those guys. And almost to the point where he's going to be running more than doing anything else, because he'll probably be the focus for them as well. So, you know, it's always going to be tough for him to do. And this is a really tough team comp to go up against them in Cheese Mode as well. So I have to see how they go in this game. But I'm pretty impressed with FFF so far. Maybe they can pull it out of the bag. We'll have to see.
Alright guys, so while we are waiting for the second game to get started here, we're going to do a quick reminder of the gem giveaway that Miss Pedia is currently doing over on our Twitter account. If you go ahead and put exclamation point gems in the chat, Nightbot will link you to a tweet that we put out a little bit earlier today. All you got to do to be entered to win that gem code is follow the Miss Pedia Twitter account and retweet that tweet. That'll be going until Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, after which we will pick our winner for that. Make sure you are following the account, however, because if you do not do that, then we unfortunately cannot give you that gem code. Make sure as well, we can't DM it to you basically, so make sure as well to check out the Misspedia Facebook. We also do some gem giveaways over there, so if you're interested in those, just go ahead over to facebook.com/Misspedia. Make sure to give us a like over there. With that said though guys, as you can hear in the background at the moment, the second round is getting started, so we're going to head directly into it. It's Cheese Mode versus FoxForceFive. Cheese Mode coming off of a strong game one on the Temple of the Silent Storm. We're going to see if they take a 2-0 or if FoxForceFive will rally it back around and take us to a game 3 on Kylo. Gates have opened, so Jebro, what's going on with the splits?
Going to see a 3-man push again over towards the far node, as we did see in the last game. We're going to see Fantastic sticking back to make sure that's not going to happen, so they're going to be able to bunker down on that point for a while. We are going to see Kida and also Spada from the blue team going over to mid, and we are going to see, I think, the blue thief, he's going to try and keep Lady Asura at bay, with the possibility of taking him off node. Not sure that's going to happen. Zapdos did get on the midpoint easily. And we do have an early side node cap from Hipfire getting that mine point, of course. The red team already getting the points. These team fights need to be ended really quick, otherwise, like you said before, Cheese Mode will take advantage of it. Zapdos did get a lot of focus on him, so he's had to bail off the point, really. I do think he was followed by the Thief, although now Zapdos is following the Thief to try and catch up to make sure that he doesn't get that decap. which is exactly what the team needed to do when they faced Ishii before. Able to get on that node, but not able to get the decap. So red team with the 1 cap at the moment, still over on the henge. We do have a 2v2 going on. And blue team are losing across the map at the moment. With the down also of Ishii down on the mid, the Warrior Slayer on the blue team at the moment.
So once again, no surprises there at the start of the game for the red team taking their home cap. Unfortunately, no one from the blue team really interested in pushing over due to the prediction of that incoming back at their home node. This incoming, however, is much harder to fend off initially due to the smaller proximity between the points on this map. So with that said, we did actually see members of Cheesemo getting onto that node before it was full cap. Back in mid here, as you can see, the current matchups at the moment, Hibba versus Cinderer. There was quite a few other guys here, but unfortunately they have since moved to other fights. But Hibba obviously having this advantage versus Cinderer, considering the current health pools of both of these players. We should easily see Hibba, if not win this 1v1, be able to control it long enough to force Cinderer off. And as you can see, the lockdown being real for Hibba, he will take him out. Kita will come in and attempt to save. I'm not too confident in his ability to get him back up, however, especially now with Zapdos coming in. So more than likely, once again, Kita will probably be able to elongate the fight at mid for just a little bit, but probably will not actually make any impactful difference in it. Back over here at the henge once more. Red team is actually winning this one too. Fantastic's Bunker Guardian going into the downstate. Indigo gone down too. Blue team being completely wiped off the map. 3 full dead here at the moment. Kita, apologies, 4 guys in the downstate here. Fantastic's just coming back up, as you can see over there. And then back over at the mine, we will see a free cap happening, but that's not going to matter too much when you consider that red team has full control everywhere else and should easily be able to fall back with these 2 players and reinforce.
Red team wins a capture point.
This is so unbelievably in control for Cheesemo at the moment.
Red team
It's going well for them. They've got their plans, you know, they wanted henge, they've got henge. They advanced to mid, got mid. The only reason they lost to close point was because they committed everyone to those to that 2 cap, which is, you know, absolutely fine. They can move Lady Asura back over there, winning the 1v1 versus Spardo as well. So he's going to get that node back pretty quickly, unless the Thief can get in there from the blue team. He's not going to be able to, because we see a safe stump coming out from Lord Asura. And Ishii is going to be able to get on the point, but I'm not sure how well it's going to go through.
Ishii versus a Hambo, never in favor of the Thief, unfortunately, there, just due to the fact that, again, Ishii, in the long game, will have much better on-point control of this. Cinderer, however, is playing it very aggressively. Don't get me wrong, Cinderer can eventually get a kill onto Lady Asura. It's just that, again, it's one of those things where he has to be so careful with himself that it'll take far too long to make any effective push. But at the same time, however, Indigo will now come into play over here, provide that additional support, and this will also be the signal for Cinderer to move over towards another point and try to go for a decap. But Zapdos, being the real pain in the butt that he is going to once again just follow Cinderer all around here and completely deny his attempts to assist in team fights.
He's so mobile, like chasing him. He's taken Zapdos all the way across the other side of the map to use his cooldowns to chase him. And now, because he's going to mid, I don't think Zapdos has got many left, so he's kind of left in the wind. And there you go, look, Ishii's doing it. He's doing the decaps, man. He's actually doing quite a good job of getting those. Now, he's probably going to leave Zapdos at that midpoint. Not too sure. Maybe he'll stay for a little bit of a fight, but might need some support, and that's not going to come out at all for him. And he's actually doing a nice little job against Zapdos. Zapdos had to reverse, had to just kind of come off point there as he got a little bit of burst damage on him. The bird comes out now, which is going to assist on the Thief, but I'm not sure how this is going to go for Ishii, to be honest. How's it going across the other side of the map? We do see Intigo just going down in not an amazing position, if I'm honest. One's going to
it was actually, to be completely honest, where Indigo had gone down was actually pretty clutch. For anybody that didn't see what he did there, he got knocked back, and like in the middle of the knockback, it was I believe it was overcharged shot that Hibba fight did. Right in the middle of that, he ports like directly up onto the top of that with lightning flash. It was actually it was pretty good. If he unfortunately did not have those condies on him, he probably would have been able to stay alive through that. But I think those condies were just a little bit too much. As you can see though, at the moment here, red team just exercising a complete amount of control over this map. Once again, 3 players been completely knocked into the downstate for the blue team and knocked out here too, which will give red team freedom of movement for probably about 20 to 30 seconds before there are any real consequences of that. You can see once again here that even though they have lost their player Lord Asura back over here, there is a very large chance with the reinforcements currently incoming that they may be able to either rally him or get enough support to keep a team fight going. It's just that blue team once more here, like we were talking about, with the composition they're running, they do not have enough burst, or they do not have enough synergy to kill the red team members quick enough to make enough of a difference and to actually put the red team on the defensive here. So red team is constantly playing aggressively, constantly winning fights too, because they extend into long, drawn-out skirmishes or big team fights that unfortunately our blue team just cannot win against a comp like this.
They're not going to be able to, and it's exactly for those reasons, you know. And like Keeler needs to try and get off point, and needs to try and kite off point if he possibly can, just with those grenades, just maybe going to an advantage point, possibly where Spada is at the moment, just over there to just drop some damage. He needs to try and get off point a bit more because there's so much cleave coming onto that point and all the conditions. He's trying to do it. He is doing it now, actually, coming to the rescue of. I think the Thief was up there, but he's actually going 1v1 against Azron. But with those conditions, like you said in the last game, he's going to have a lot of issues, and he's running a lot of the time at the moment. This is quite unfortunate for them, but we'll have to see how they're actually not doing too bad in this team fight over here at the moment. Lady Asura, the pressure really is on him at the moment, so he's the focus. Like he might actually go down here with a little bit more pressure off point. But you know what? It's just not enough because the mine's being decapped. Mid still in control of Cheese Mode, leaving that point open.
They're significantly behind here, and even though we finally are seeing the blue team making an impactful difference in a team fight and possibly will be winning one here, mainly because of the close proximity to the spawn point here, you can see that they got Red team is pressing at this point. Really, Red team is really pressing their luck, to be completely honest here, and pushing for a full 5-man team fight directly on their opponent's home node here. Now, granted, again, because they're being like I said, it's not going to be enough because here's the thing: they're not moving quickly enough. Their Thief is not going to mid right now. I don't think he should be at far. This is personally, in my opinion, this is a huge mistake. Even with him leaving this now, who's with him again? Zapdos. Zapdos can keep up with this Thief here. He should be able to get back to mid before Zapdos can actually get there, or he should be, Zapdos specifically should be able to get to mid before the Thief can get the decap. It is going to depend on these cooldowns. I actually just noticed here too that his fire attunement swap is not ready for that. So with that said,
Warrior can stun him off point. Oh no!
Well, actually, that wasn't the problem. The big problem was getting there before the decap happened. But at the same time, like I said, I didn't actually realize he was still on pretty much a full fire attunement cooldown, which he needed to actually get onto that to get the leap back ready for that. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to get there in time to stop the decap. But still, they are Red team. This is going to reinforce this node, and there's not too many tanky players here for the blue team, so they probably won't be doing too well in this current matchup.
Just like that, blue team takes a
it is a substantial lead of 270 points as well. With 7 minutes in the game, it's just so tough to give it to blue at all at the moment. Love to see a comeback from these guys, but you just can't see it happening. It's not something that's going to be possible for them at the moment, and it's like a Zapdos is going to almost went down as well, and the Thief's doing such a good job even with the difficulty of trying to get around the map. He was utilising everything until, you know, that fight we were talking about over on the Henge where, you know, he just didn't pull out when he could have got that decap. But Zapdos is really, you know, he's been he's not really been a Thief killer, but he's been, you know, following him around the map.
Yeah. He's been very good at denying his attempts to assist and denying his attempts to assist team fights and as well decap points too. Very excellent play there by Zapdos and keeping up with that. That's essentially been his job for most of this game. With that said, however, he does get actually knocked out back over towards mid, as again he constantly being interrupted again and again and again over there. As you can see, it's Steel. Very annoying for him to deal with indeed. Back over here at the altar though, we did have a pretty elongated fight between Intego as well as Hiba. Again, that kind of comes down to a cooldown war, which I believe the NG in the long run will win things. Thankfully, our Cinderer did come in once more here, and he is assisting. Cinderer really, to be completely honest, is kind of the saving grace of the blue team here. Without him, these guys would be in a much, much worse off spot, doing a really excellent job at making sure he's rotating properly. It's just against things like Zapdos and whatnot, it is making it a really huge pain for him to do his job properly.
Yeah, he's still getting in these situations, and you can tell that he's getting into a situation where he's actually really frustrated. He gets caught in a really awkward position. There's so much CC and damage AoE like coming onto the point. It's just a pain in the butt for blue, unfortunately. And they, you know, they've got the mid cap, but they need to be completely offensive now on all points. And Azron's easily going to be able to get that decap at mid. There's not been any boss kills for them to maybe take some advantage in stats because they just can't risk it because hardly anyone from Cheese Mode has died. So they've always been near a boss. You know, there's so many different things that have just gone against blue team in this game, and it happens a lot to people again who go up against this comp against Cheese Mode, you know, because one, they're playing some, like, you know, I'm not going to call them cheese, but yeah, screw it, why not? It's some cheesy builds, you know, and they're not only playing cheesy builds, but they're good players playing cheesy builds, so you're ultimately screwed. It's not going to be a cakewalk whatsoever.
So with that said, guys, we can see the 2-cap here at about 470 points. Unfortunately, not much left for the blue team to do here besides call GG, as we have seen now in the map chat. So with that said, Cheese Mode is going to qualify for the ToL2 Grand Finals happening in about 2 weeks. And as well, FoxForceFive. That's not the last we're going to see of them today. We're actually going to see them play once again here in just a few minutes. They're still going to have their opportunity to claim third place prizing here as we're going to head on to that game. Once again, that is going to be, I believe, Antisocial Dragon Finishers will end up taking on. Yes, indeed. Antisocial Dragon Finishers is going to take on FoxForceFive in just a few minutes, guys. So stick around. That game is coming up. We're going to give away another llama in the Twitch chats. Make sure you're paying attention for the go signal to spam those llamas. And with that said, once more, guys, we'll be right back with the final match of today here at the European Qualifier floor for the Tournament of Legends 2. Be right back, folks.